I've thought about this for a long time. You know, I wasn't a soccer guy. I didn't come naturally to the sport. I didn't grow up playing it. I was the guy who watched for goals and was completely unenthused about what was going on with the soccer field. My son brought me to the sport, and as I watched and stopped watching for goals and began to learn about the quality of the play and the art that was going on, that's when I became really connected to it. But it hit a level in which I wanted to get involved with it on a business standpoint when I met Ben Frakley and Jeremy Avon.
Mayor, Darren, welcome to the PDL. We're thrilled to be in Statesboro. Take good care of her.
I had this vision for bringing and making Statesboro a minor league city. I thought it's something that mattered to me. The Premier Development League offered us an example, an opportunity to bring in immediately a team to Statesboro, Georgia, and we put those roots down. We planted the flag.
When we started collaborating on this soccer project with his viewpoint or lens through sport tourism, mine through soccer and player development, the relationship just made a lot of sense.
No one knew what Tormenta FC was. At first, they didn't even know what a minor league soccer team would look like, much less things like the Premier Development League. So there was this wonderful moment to both teach and to create a brand and a vision. And one of the ways you do that is by holding press conferences.
As much as we tried, Borja did not meet the qualifications that we needed to meet in order to get him inside the country so he could be a part of our Tormenta FC youth side and coach our PDL team. We like Borja very much. We think that he is a great coach and a super person, and I think he would have been a great addition to the Tormenta FC staff and the Statesboro, Savannah surrounding communities. We just couldn't get him in.
You know, Ben's our general manager. None of this would have worked if Ben didn't agree to be the GM. That was my vision from day one. Having been on the field, also as the field manager, the field general, is critical. Those positions are permanent.
I'm the coach of the team now. It's a full-time deal, and I'm all in, baby.
You can't build a franchise without investing a lot of money. This is $1 million franchise. We've spent a lot of time, effort, and energy for that. This is not a one-shot deal. This was not an effort where we wanted to, hey, let's build a team, bring some things together, let's have a fun time this summer, and do it all over again, any more than the Atlanta Braves are trying to win a National League East title and a World Series every single year. You know, the challenge of sport is constantly putting a team on the field and doing it. And Ben and Michael, they'll spend their time and moments putting the best product on the field. Myself, Nitra, we want to create that environment where the players and the fans can come to grow. We've put a business together. We're growing that business. I expect to double and triple attendance next year going forward, and that's just the beginning of where we see Tormenta FC going.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
Tough start to the season. Those first 4 games were difficult. 2 reasons. One, anytime you have a new team coming together, I think there's going to be time to get that chemistry and cohesion that all teams want. So if you had to make a choice between starting slow or finishing slow, I think I'd choose starting slow because we trended upward and we're on a great forward trajectory of momentum after those first 4 games. The other factor beyond the cohesion and chemistry that wasn't quite there was I think I pushed the guys a little bit too hard in the beginning. So I had just gotten them coming off of their spring seasons and I had some expectations. I don't know how realistic they were. I planned a lot of practices early on that went for 2 hours in Statesboro. And so I think from a recovery and fitness aspect, I blame myself. We got more out of shorter training sessions, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 90 minutes versus 120 minutes.
It's a counter, foot race, flag looked like it may have come out, did not. And now the Dynamo trying to square one up. There it is, another great save. Wyden. Support from the home crowd just behind Anton Wyden. Here we go. Ryan King is denied. Rebound is no good. What a save by Anton Wyden.
So we found Anton through his coach, Mark McKeever, who also coaches in the PDL. Anton plays at Young Harris. Mark was one of the first coaches that I called. It was important to myself and Darren and Heidi that we get some Georgia players. There's so much talent in this state. There is a ton of talent in Georgia.
Gotta credit Guerin the work that he has done up to this point. He's taken shot after shot, and he has denied the Kings Warriors. What a save by Alex Guetta! And that's gonna put the cherry on the sundae for Tormenta FC.
Alex Guerra had just finished playing at Virginia Military Institute. He had gone on 2 professional tryouts, and we had an agreement that if he were to get a pro contract, he should take that. That's definitely in his best interest. And if he were not to get that, then he had a spot with Tormenta FC. He and Anton both did a fantastic job. And I really think, straight out of the Bible, the whole verse of iron sharpens iron, boy, those two, and as well as Drew Funk and Chase Herzog. And it didn't hurt that we had Michael Chesler as well, who himself was a phenomenal goalkeeper in the PDL and the USL and at High Point, and he was our goalkeeping coach this summer. So a lot of things came together.
That's all they did in the last 5 sessions of practice this week.
Nice ball there, nearly a goal. Tormenta with another good-looking run. This is what they practice all week long. Left-footed shot off the post, rebound try.
If you watch that game through live stream, you saw unbelievable quality, not only in what Art Berger and his team do, but also in how our team played that night. And I think what you saw that night was a reflection of hours upon hours of rehearsal. Our players did a great job of staying committed to a process that we said, hey, this is going to be important to us. These are the things that are going to define us. And even if we have success or failure, we're not going to go away from it. We need to do it better. We need to do it faster. We might need to do these pictures with some different players. But this is our style, and this is our brand that we're trying to bring.
Set up a shot. The angle is there. Off the post and in. Nico Rittmeyer.
Oh, he gets called off for an offside, off the rebound.
Pass left there, and now another chance. Rittmeyer! Offsides once again.
You know, we lost, and that always hurts. And in our league, we need every point that we can get. That night was a defining moment for us because we started to play really good soccer, and I think the players saw that, and I know the fans did. Talking about getting important wins, we beat the number 1 and the number 4 ranked team in the country out of 67 PDL teams. Our first 2 wins came against the Charlotte Eagles, who were ranked number 1 almost all season long, and the Carolina Dynamo. And what was so cool was after the game against the Charlotte Eagles, we probably had 40 fans come down and take a photo with the team to commemorate our first victory ever. It was a great night. Our first win at home was against the Southern Virginia Kings Warriors. The first goal ever scored at home was by Jeremy Rector. And you had 3 players, Jeremy Rector, Trenton Whitley, and Rashid Alarape, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Mercer University. And all these guys have known each other since they were kids.
Whiteley. There it is! Woo! That's Rector. Jeremy Rector, history. In the 88th minute for Tormenta FC.
The first ever goal scored by Tormenta FC at home was by a Georgia Southern player playing on his game field. And it was an awesome goal. First time finish.
And there's the local tribe celebrating the 5th goal for Tormenta FC. And you see Ben Frickley the third right there, giving some advice to that left fullback, Ayososus.
The fan support has been unreal. Last weekend, Bayern Munich was playing in Charlotte, and Julian Green on the national team who plays for Bayern was holding up a Tormenta FC scarf. And I think it wasn't by design, but by default this summer, we trained our fans where the best celebrations were gonna be. And that was down in the VIP section. See, like, if you get a VIP ticket, you're paying for food, and you're paying for beer, and you're paying for just this really cool party experience. But what you never knew you were getting when you paid for your VIP ticket was the best goal celebrations happening right there in front of you. There were times we scored goals where you couldn't even see the player because he was covered up by fans. And I think that when you're trying to create a hometown, this is our team experience, and you can touch the players and you're right up there against the touchline with them, that's what keeps people coming back.
Tormenta with a big win on Thursday night, trying to follow that up as they go into the middle, and the goal! Scored! Sam Lofts puts it into the back of the net. Nice move by Medina to get it going. They want the flag to go up as Rittmeyer puts it up and into the net. Jeremy Rector scored the winning goal the other night. Now from the left side, the angle is there, the shot is good by Eli Dent. Here's the shot and the goal!
That was a great night. First goal by James Brighton. And he whipped that shirt off right away. But man, it brought the fans to their feet. They loved it. And James is a humble kid, so that wasn't really a reflection of who he was. That was him living in the moment. In the second half, we really came alive. Reed Norton scoring 2 goals back-to-back. And the amount of passes that we had around the final third to connect that first-time finish into the top corner was spectacular. That was something that the USL was tweeting and retweeting about. We got into the box, Jad Arslan tried something crazy behind his back, goalkeeper made a save, James Brighton had an opportunity, and then Rashid was there to finish it off. But not luck any of those goals, because we've spent so much time training where we want our players to be arriving and the choices that we want them to make when we have the ball in different thirds of the field. So when we were getting into those moments, players were getting into spaces that we had trained them to get into and rehearsed, but the players got there and we had the benefit of that.
Nice run there, Sam Lofts, there it is! Finally, Lofts cashes in, and it's 5-1. It's gonna be Whiteley, there's the cross, and another goal! Eli Dent, 6-1. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, Eli, man, that goal was awesome because again, Trenton Whiteley, who was phenomenal for us this summer, got forward, served an unbelievable early ball into the box. Again, Eli Dent was exactly where he needed to be for a first-time finish.
A foot race near the goal. Guetta has to come out and makes a phenomenal save over the last few games. He'll try and put this one up in the air. Dangerous ball, and it hits the crossbar.
4 components of peak performance: mindset, movement, nutrition, and recovery. And to be able to have a room where you can eat just with your team every morning, and you can eat a meal that gives you the nutrient intake, caloric intake that you need, and to know that that's provided and you don't have to pay for it, that gets you ready to train. That was an A+. I don't think anybody in the league is even coming close to what we provide with our meals. To be able to eat all of our meals right here in the clubhouse, have a team talk in this room, that was beyond PDO. That's top professional, you're a pro meals. And then the Grove, which is less than a mile right down the road, the pool, the gym, the people, first class. Every player got their own room and their own bathroom. It's a great setup. Pros start here, we mean that. My favorite part of this summer was getting to know 29 guys that I barely or never knew before. And each of them has an unbelievable story to tell, and I think that some of them are going to be telling that story through the game of soccer as pros. And I had the chance to cry with some of those guys. I had the chance to get angry with some of those guys. I had a chance to laugh with all of those guys. They're awesome people, and I miss them already. We had more fans than any other team in our conference. Over 7 games, we averaged over 14,000 fans. I could be wrong, check my math. But I think we were close to 2,000 people per game on average. We had a winning record in our first year. We beat the #1 team in the PDL. We had a great year.
Holiday Inn Statesboro is the official hotel sponsor of South Georgia Tormenta FC, proud member in the Premier Development League.
They have spacious rooms and free Wi-Fi. They have an on-site restaurant and bar, and they serve a daily breakfast buffet. And they also have an awesome pool and jacuzzi area.
And that's why we choose the Holiday Inn Statesboro.
I'm standing on the Tormenta FC practice facility where all Tormenta FC players trained this entire PDL season. And one of the things that we wanted to discuss was the concepts that we were teaching our players when we were in possession of the ball. Every team would like to have the ball as much as possible during the game. However, you can only have it some of the time. So when we have the ball, we're looking for some key concepts. The first key concept, attacking-wise, that we wanted to teach our players was the importance of depth. So when we coached our team, when we had sessions with our team on attacking concepts, we would teach our center forward and our wide midfielders on the left and right side to try and push up as high as possible against our opponent's back line, and that's the definition of depth. The second concept that was important in attacking concepts, teaching our team, is the importance of width. So there are 4 players really responsible for providing width for our team when we have the ball, and those are our left-sided and right-sided outside backs and wide midfielders. In a soccer numbering system, that might be referred to as a number 2, a number 3, a number 7, or a number 11. But when you're watching a soccer game, width is provided typically by the players that play wide in those positions. 2 final concepts that were really important to us were the importance of mobility, which is how players move when they don't have the soccer ball. If you're just getting into the game of soccer, you often fall into the trap of just watching the player with the ball. But if you want to look for the definition of mobility, when you're watching a soccer game, watch what players do when they don't have the ball. The players that are trying to make runs beyond the ball or near the ball or around the ball, that's typically the definition of mobility, and that's usually it's provided by players that do not have the soccer ball. The last and probably the most important concept in attacking when your team has the ball is the importance of penetration. And that can be achieved with the ball. If an attacking player gets on the ball and can beat a defender and go forward, he can penetrate with the soccer ball. One of the things that we really stressed this summer with Tormenta FC was how to make penetrating runs into the box. The box, referred to as the 18-yard box, which is 18 by 44 yards wide, is a great place for attacking players to make runs when their team has the ball in the final third. So when your team has the ball and you're in the final third, making penetrating runs to get a ball behind the last player is a great way to create goal-scoring opportunities.
I've been playing since I was 3 years old, and then I played rec, moved up to club, and then I played academy with Georgia United. And then I obviously got recruited by a couple colleges, and I chose to attend West Virginia University. My life literally revolves all around soccer. I'm watching soccer, I'm playing FIFA soccer.
Jod's awesome. I've known Jod since he was a youth player growing up at Georgia United. He's a player that I tried to recruit to Georgia Southern University. I think he's extremely creative. I love his hunger. He's very passionate. He plays with a lot of enthusiasm. He's a player that you definitely want to watch when he gets on the ball or when his teammates get on the ball in front of him.
I do like long walks on the beach, and I'm kidding. No, I guess I just like hang out with my family and stuff like that.
When I graduated from school back in 2012, I was fortunate enough to go to Finland, and I played there for 2 years. And when I came back, I played over at Rochester Rhinos in the USL. So I played total about 3.5 years of professional soccer.
Our mission statement is pros start here. Io has already been a pro, and we worked really hard to get him here. I think that Statesboro and the surrounding communities don't only benefit from Io as a soccer player, but they also benefit from him because he's a local coach in the community.
I love watching Netflix. I love watching a lot of shows. I'm currently watching The Office. Just started watching it. It's hilarious. I think it's the funniest thing ever.
His personality is almost polar opposite. So off the field, you get this gentle, warm guy that just connects with everybody, and on the field, you get a very aggressive, single-minded, I'm here to win type player, and I love it. It's great balance.
I actually started off at Georgia Southern, and I was here for 2 years, and then enjoyed my 2 years at NC State and just graduated this past December.
I've known Reed since he was probably 5 years old. I'm very proud to say I've got a great connection with their family.
So I've known Ben for quite some time. He coached me at Georgia Southern for 2 years before I transferred to NC State.
Having him here is fun because you have a guy that's really trying to make it as a pro, who has some talent. He has a great left foot. I think he puts a lot of responsibility and pressure on himself to try and win games. And I think there's a lot of value in that.
I'm a pretty outdoors person, but if I'm not, I'm usually trying to find a nice movie to watch. I've been watching a lot of Cupcake Wars on Netflix, which is just a fantastic show.
I can confidently say that that will never happen, that he and I would sit down and watch a show called Cupcake Wars together. I can confidently say that will never happen.
If you don't like Cupcake Wars, I don't know what you like. There's nothing else to like than that.
I started playing soccer in Korea, actually. We were in Korea. And then I think when I moved to Italy, I was on an actual Italian club team. So it was all like the developmental clubs that the younger Storm Academy has. And then that's when I really found my spot for the sport. Coach Ben gave me a call one day. It was about back in February after I went down to one of the pro combines in Florida. And he basically explained how the setup was and how Darren was going to set everything up for us. And it sounded like a really good opportunity. So the last 2 games, I set a goal. I said, I'm going to get a clean sheet, no goals, no goals. And it was a little stressful at the end of the last game with the penalty kick and everything, but I just kept saying that in the back of my mind. And that's what really drives me, is I set a goal for myself every time, and I just focus as much as I can during the game on achieving that goal and carrying it out.
I actually got into soccer, I think I was 4 years old. My dad just basically brought me out to the field one day and he just started passing the ball with me. And I mean, I started off playing at like a small club outside of Stone Mountain, Georgia. So as I just kept growing and getting better at the sport and everything like that, it just kept progressing.
I've known Trent since he was probably 15 years old. Watched him play for a great youth academy in Atlanta, Georgia, which is called Georgia United. He's a standout player at Mercer University who's been a top threat in the Southern Conference, and he was a key player the year, I think it was 2014, when they won the Southern Conference.
The people in the community, they're kind of like drawn to Tormenta and everything, and that was really good to see. It just gives us as players an extra initiative to, go out there and perform.
He's steady as the day is long. Anything you ask him to do, he just replies back with a thumbs up and, okay, I got you.
Honestly, my life is soccer, but I go to Mercer and everything, so I'm studying biology and everything, so I do want to one day maybe go to med school and do something with that in radiology.
I think, and I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that Trent has played more minutes than probably anybody else on our team. He had an amazing assist in our game-winning goal against the Kings Warriors a few weeks back for the first ever goal scored on our home field. He also served an amazing ball in to Eli Dent in our 6-1 win against the Tri-Cities Otters.
Visit Statesboro for Farm Fresh Fun. Woohoo!
Visit Statesboro, where fun is done. Woohoo!
Come to Statesboro and get wild.
Come visit Statesboro and see all we have to offer.
Woohoo!
Our plan for 2017 is to expand our recruiting and attract the highest level of PDL talent.
You know, last year it felt like we had about 8 weeks once we finally got the pieces in place. We got the important things. Now we have uniforms and a name. And
in the beginning we had an idea, and now we have facts and figures, and we can provide video and statistics that are going to be able to make for stronger selling points to attract the best talent in the nation.
I think I've been more busy now than when the season was in play. We are getting ready for lots of events that are coming up. We're already tracking where our players are that were here this summer, when I can go see them. I've met with 2 of them in the last 5 days and gone to their homes and met with them.
We are not restricted by region. We're going to bring in the best talent that we can, and our goal is, every other PDL team's goal is to make the playoffs and to host the playoffs. We have such a great relationship here with Georgia Southern University and some of our key sponsors like the Holiday Inn, where you can bring in many teams. Some of our expectations are to be playing in the postseason, but also hosting the postseason playoffs and showcasing what Georgia Southern University and Statesboro has to offer.
You know, from a front office staff, we're rock solid. That entire front office is back, both from the volunteers and the interns who are here and don't want to go away. I mean, our full-time folks aren't going anywhere. This is a career, this is a move that they've made. And
we're going to look for guys definitely from this year that we want to come back, but there's going to be some rebuilding every year, and we're never going to take what we have here for granted. You know, we're going to go out and we're going to market what we have in Tormenta FC so that we want players competing to come here. This is an unreal setup, and we're not going to settle for mediocre. We want the best talent.
October 22nd, 23rd, we're going to host the IBIS Cup, which will be a 6v6 Tournament of Champions that Tormenta FC will sponsor. The IBIS Foundation is a nonprofit organization connected to us. And the IBIS Foundation, we're going to help grow soccer. We've got players who might need, at the youth side, who might need help with registration. We've got high schools who need help with goals and soccer balls and uniforms. We've got those players who are 10, 12, 16, but who can't afford to play year-round. We want to change that.
We will have tryouts. We're going to have tryouts in Statesboro, and we're also looking at having tryouts in some other cities as well. So more to follow on that.
Our home games will always be here, but the more we can grow the brand and pack that stadium, yeah, great things really do await. I hope you can see the glow that I have when I talk about how excited I am about the future of this particular franchise, and it's going to be in Statesboro for a long, long time. We're just getting started.